guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elle, and today I'm going to be doing my July wrap up. So July, I was very slow in the beginning of the month, and towards like the end I was dealing with a lot of like personal things, and I just needed to take a break from reading. It felt like reading was like kind of like, I don't know, like just it felt too like heavy for me to read at the moment. Like I just wasn't in the mood. But then towards the end of the month I really picked up and read a lot of books. So I read, I think, 8 books this month, which isn't my best month for quantity, but I did read some really great books. So let's get right into this video. The first book I read was Manacled by Sin Lu Yu. I always mess up this author's name, and I always forget how to pronounce her name, so I apologize for that. But this is a fan fiction romance of Draco and Hermione, and it is so amazing. This is a 1,000-page book though, and it did take me like 2 weeks to get through because I was just like dragging my feet, but because I liked it so much I didn't want it to end, even though it's like 1,000 pages and that's a lot of reading time. But this is just so good. So it starts off with after the war between Harry Potter and Voldemort, instead of Harry surviving and like winning and making the magical world all right again, he actually ended up being killed. So now, since it's after the war, Voldemort is the leader of like the magical world, and he has started this program of breeding women to have babies. It's kind of, if you've ever seen The Handmaid's Tale, that was also kind of weaved into the story, which The Handmaid's Tale is basically these women are given to these high, very like rich and high profile couples, and they try to impregnate the woman. So Hermione basically ends up getting given to Draco Malfoy, and he is married, and he has to breed her to have a baby. And she's also keeping a massive secret, but she cannot remember the secret. She also has no recollection of important things from the past, because she was a part of the Order, which means that she was helping like Harry and Ron, and that makes her very, very important to Voldemort because he wants to know all of these secrets and information that she is holding, but she can't remember it. So they think if she has a baby, her memories will start to come back, and so she ends up staying with Draco Malfoy, and that's all I'm going to say about the storyline there, because then it takes off and then it gets into spoilers. But this book is amazing. I loved it so much. I give it 5 stars. I just loved Draco so much. I loved his relationship with Hermione. I loved so many things. Like, he just, I don't know. I just don't know how to explain it. I just loved him. I thought he, you know, was so tender and kind with her, but then he would take down anyone who would mess with her, or definitely like very possessive over her. He would become very obsessed over her, like, you're mine, like nobody's going to take you away from me. So I just loved him. I thought he was amazing. I love him as a hero, and there were just so many amazing moments in this book, and Hermione is just so strong and such an amazing, strong woman, and I just love this romance. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to like spoil it for you if you want to read Manacled, but just know that it's amazing, and I highly, highly recommend it. It is definitely a top read of the year now. I just fell in love with this story, and if you've never, you know, heard anything about Harry Potter, read the books, watched the movies, it doesn't really matter. Like, they explain things very well, and it's very easy to get caught up, and it's like it's not confusing, and you don't need to know a bunch about like Harry Potter and stuff to read Manacled. The next book I read was The Unwanted Marriage by Katarina Mora. This book is a arranged marriage, and our hero and heroine have known they've been arranged to marry each other for a number of years, but the hero just doesn't think he is good enough for the heroine, and he ends up seeing her with another man. It gets very possessive, and it's like, you are engaged to me, you're not going to, you know, do anything with anybody else. And so he basically decides to take her in and have her start living with him so he can like watch over her and stuff, and then they kind of start forming a relationship. And this was not my favorite from Katarina Moore's books that I've read so far. I thought it was very insta-lovey. They got together very quickly, and I really could not stand the male audio narrator for this book. I just don't know what was up with him. Like, I don't know if he was trying like a specific accent or something, but it was very hard to understand him sometimes and to just be kept in the story. I don't know if I would have liked it more if I read it physically, but it just felt very insta-lovey, and like they got together very quickly and then they were just like happy and together, and it was kind of boring. So I gave it 3 stars. Not my favorite from her, but I'm excited to read the other books from this series. Then I read A Wicked Game by Kate Bateman. I really liked this romance. I gave it 5 stars. This is a historical romance, so this is set in this series that she has where there's 2 different rivaling families, and so the heroine is part of one of the rivaling families and the hero is a part of the other rivaling family, and so they have to like come together because he has a map that basically got him in a shipwreck, and it was like messed up, and like the map was like messed up, and he's now coming back to England to get revenge on the map maker. But he later finds out that the heroine is the map maker, and so he is like, well, I can get what I want, because he has always really liked the heroine and really wanted her, and so he's like, well, I can mix vengeance and seduction together. So he starts working with the heroine to figure out what the deal is with the map, and he makes like a bet with her that if you give me 3 kisses, like a deal with her, and so he draws out all of these like kisses, and like, I could kiss you anywhere, not just on your lips, and she's like, what? And it was really good. I really liked it. I listened to the audiobook and I really liked the audio of this one. It was just a really fun romance, and I loved like the flirtiness of the hero and heroine, and there was some action with this like whole map thing, because she also has like somebody coming after her. Like her maps are being copied, so she has to like figure that out, and I just really liked it. I really have enjoyed all the books I've read from Kate Bateman so far, and I highly recommend this romance. I really liked it. Then I read AntiHero by Sarah Kate. I got an arc of this book, and I really liked it. I gave it 4.5 stars. So our hero is the son of one of the most famous pastors in Texas, and he's always grown up with a very religious background. And so one day he meets the heroine at a diner, and they kind of like strike up a little bit of like a friendship. Like they have this cute like meet cute, and then he later finds out that his father, who he thought, you know, was the most conservative, good guy, like would never do anything bad, he found out that he owns a deed to a sex club, and so he decided to go to that said sex club, and he saw his father cheating on his mom. So he basically kind of like freaks out and has like a midlife crisis, and is like, I don't even know the guy who I thought was my father for so long, like can't even recognize him. And his father is like, I will blackmail you if you tell anyone about this, and all this stuff. So then he sees the heroine again, and he figures out that she is the ex-girlfriend of the owner of the club. And so they basically struck up a deal to start fake dating to get back at his father, because she, you know, has like dyed pink hair and has piercings and stuff, and that'd be really bad for his father's image. And so they start fake dating, and then they also start making these very kinky videos together and posting them like online. And I really liked it. I thought it was a good, solid romance. I've heard some discourse saying how they don't like the way that Sarah Kate deals with religious trauma, and I kind of understand that. I do like how Sierra Simone does it more, but I did like the romance. I liked that they started fake dating, but then they were doing these like videos together. I really liked that aspect. I thought it was very unique and fun. And I thought it was good. I give it 4.5 stars. Definitely not like an all-time favorite by Sarah Kate, but I did really like it. And I read Always Only You by Chloe Leese. I love this romance. Give this one 5 stars. It's so, so good. So this is a hockey romance, and the heroine works on like the hockey team as like their, I think, social media manager, or she's just like on the staff, or no, I think she does the social media, but it's also like a reverse grumpy sunshine romance. So the heroine is the grumpy one and the hero is the sunshiny one. And the heroine also has rheumatoid arthritis and autism. And so she walks around with a cane, and the hero plays on the team, and so they started hanging out more and kind of striking up a little bit of a friendship. And it's just so cute. Like, I loved seeing their friendship start to blossom into a romance. It was just adorable. And I loved the hero so much. He's just so sweet and caring and patient. Doesn't coddle the heroine. And I just really like this romance. I really love the representation in this one. I loved seeing all of the aspects of the heroine's life and how she was living with her disabilities, and I just loved this romance, and I am so excited to read the next book in this series, and I just absolutely love this one. I loved his family, which it all revolves around the Bergman brothers, which he is one of their brothers, and I just really love this romance, and I'm so excited to read the next one. And then I read Glimmers of You by Catherine Cowles. This is her newest release, and y'all, it is so, so good. I absolutely love this one. So this is a fake dating romance between Caden and Gray. And Caden is best friends with Gray's older brothers, and so they almost kind of had a thing when she was younger. They were both younger, but then she had discovered that she had diabetes, and it was kind of in like a really scary way. Like, they were hiking and she fainted, and it really freaked the hero out. So he basically kind of pushed her away, and they were really good friends. And so now it's years later, and he's come back into town working for his father. He's also a billionaire, and he realizes that Gray, the heroine, has been dealing with some creepy advances from this guy who just can't take a hint that she doesn't want to date him. And so they basically decide to start fake dating because his father is also pressuring him to settle down. And it's just so good. They start fake dating, and it was kind of a little bit hate to love at first because she was really mad at him for pushing her away. And then there's some suspense in this one because some creepy things start happening to Gray. And I just really love this one. I loved the representation of somebody who has diabetes. One of my best friends has diabetes, and I love seeing all of like the day-to-day of what Gray goes through on a daily basis. And I was like, yeah, that's like accurate. And I felt like Catherine Cowles did such an amazing job with this romance, and I just loved it. This series is so good. If you haven't started this series yet, it's the Lost and Found series. It is amazing, one of my favorite series ever, and I just love Catherine Cowles so much, so definitely go check this romance out. The next book I read was, I did a reread of Kill Switch because I was feeling in the mood for something dark and didn't really know what I wanted to read, so I just picked this up again. And I totally forgot that this is a sister's like husband romance. Like, Damon ends up marrying the heroine's sister, so I totally forgot about that. But I love this romance. It is kind of a bully romance, kind of like a second chance a little bit. So Winter and Damon had like a thing in the past, but then this all revolves around this Devil's Night, which is the night before Halloween, where all of the guys in this series, 3 of them, went to jail because they got caught on video doing something. And so this is like flashbacks from the past to the present. In the present time, he basically marries her sister to get closer to Winter, and to kind of control Winter a little bit. And I loved it. I love this book so much. So much action is in it, and it's just so good. So I really love this reread. And the last book I read in July was King of Wrath by Anna Huang. I listened to this on audio. I'm going to give this one 4 stars. I really liked it. It is a hate to love marriage of convenience / arranged marriage. So They are basically, her father sets up for her to marry the hero, and she is a owner of like a huge jewelry company, and the hero is a billionaire, and so they have to be like start kind of dating a little bit before they get married. But she like hates him and he hates her because he's just really mean and doesn't want to be in this situation. Like, he was kind of forced to marry her, and so they have this really like hate to love chemistry and passion. And I really liked it. I listened to the audio and thought it was really good. I felt like the ending did drag a little bit because of some like miscommunication, but I did really enjoy it. I thought it was a good solid romance. The hero is also Italian, and he had an accent on the audiobook, and I really liked that. And he's very like touch or you die, like you don't mess with me kind of vibes, and I really like this one, and I give 4 stars, and I'm excited to read the next romance in this series. Well, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts about all of the books I read in July, and I am so excited for August. Let me know what your favorite book was this month. I would love to know. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.